Have Yourself a Cheesy Little Christmas. Written by Jory John, illustrated by Pete Oswald. You call this Christmas? Ha! Christmas isn't Christmas unless it's a big Christmas. Like this. Ta-da! See, my Christmases are extreme. My Christmases are exhilarating. My Christmases are extraordinary. My parties are really something to behold. Take a look around. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Look at this, and this, and that, and this, and these, and those. Also these, and that, and this. Oh, and that, and this, and these, and those. Ta-da! Also, not to brag, but I'm quite the stellar host. My conversation is the sparkliest. My jokes are the funniest. My laugh is the loudest. My decorations are the shiniest. My tree is the tallest. My snacks are the tastiest. My dance moves are the snazziest. And just when you think the festivities are over, I show up with another surprise. Bam! And another. Boom! And another. Bling. Also, you've never seen anybody give gifts like me. It's a motorboat. Enjoy! And you've never seen anybody get gifts like me. Rah! I will outmatch anybody when it comes to presents. Hey, thank you for the wristwatch. Here are 5 wristwatches in return. And when you finally exit a Big Cheese Christmas party with your complimentary tote bag filled with extravagant and expensive gadgets, you're absolutely exhausted from the revelry. Get some sleep, my friends. After all, if you can't win at Christmas, what's the point? So, to sum things up, my parties are the stuff of cheese legend. Yes, I absolutely dominate the holiday season, and I always eclipse my previous efforts like the shining star that I am. And it's gone that way year after year after year until this year. Here's what happened. I was getting ready for my Christmas celebration, the absolute biggest party I would throw until my Big Cheese New Year's Eve bash. I always had to be the best dressed attendee. It was a must. So I was preparing my special party hosting outfit when, suddenly, the washing machine started making some weird noises. There was a buzz. There was a clank. There was a rattle. There was a jangle. There was a clatter. I froze in my cheese tracks. What was the matter? Should I have hand-washed my outfit instead? Perhaps. Were there too many sequins? Maybe. Was the cape too long? Probably. Because without any further warning, the washer started to overflow. I tried to pull my costume out of the machine, but it ripped in half. I couldn't believe it. I watched in horror as the laundry room flooded, and then an indoor river of slimy, sudsy sludge rushed into the hallway and out into the living room and beyond. At that very moment, at least 7,000 twinkly lights on my giant tree started to flicker. Then they all went out with a singular pop. Pop. Ugh. I My enormous refrigerator was next. It fizzled out with a bloop. Bloop. Sheesh, I sheeshed. I looked around in dismay. My house was completely trashed. Ah! I ahed. I spent the next hour cleaning up the mess. It was wet. It was smelly. My back hurt. I was woozy. And it felt absolutely endless, like trying to tidy up a swamp. At this rate, there was absolutely no way I could still have a party. Alas, I was finished! Done for! Christmas was ruined! I fell onto my back with a whomp and a sigh. Whoop. Finally, I grabbed my phone and dialed the first cheese friend who came to mind. Wedgeman answered immediately. I frantically told him what had happened. He was silent for exactly 10 seconds. And then he confidently spoke up. "Don't worry about it, old buddy, old pal," he said. "I'll take care of everything. Tell folks to meet at my place at 8. I said with some hesitation in my voice. My party was about to be taken from me. But I was stuck, and Wedge was offering up a decent solution. I couldn't let my ego get in the way. Yeah, okay, that sounds, fine, I said. "Great," said Wedge. "See you then," and he hung up. I swallowed my pride. I called my invited guests and told them the new location. I tried to sound excited. Then, even though I was achy and exhausted, I got ready to go out. I managed to salvage one key part of my outfit. Not bad. Then I was off to see what Wedgeman had dreamed up. "Hey, everybody, shall we?" Wedge's house was nothing like mine. While my place was gigantic and flashy and imposing, Wedge's was small and understated and cozy. Wedge opened the gathering with a brief speech. Of course, he was eloquent and welcoming. And then there was the party itself. It was just so simple. There was no balloon drop, no rock band, no snow machine, no bullhorns, no spectacle. We simply sat and talked and laughed all evening. What kind of party was this? I'll be honest, part of me was confused. Another part of me was jealous that I wasn't the center of attention. But somehow, most of me just felt content. We took a group photo to commemorate the occasion. Say cheese, 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 big cheese. And when the evening finally concluded, everybody left with a handwritten Christmas card from Wedge himself. I just shook my head in awe. Had Wedge won Christmas? Of course he had. Somehow, I wasn't surprised in any way. He made it look so easy. Typical. Yes, Wedge was the shining star of Christmas Eve. "I hope my party wasn't too basic and ordinary for you," Wedge said to me on my way out the door. "It was wonderful," I said. "Sure, yes, perhaps I would have added a spotlight, and some fireworks, and a giant Christmas tree, and some artificial snow, but yeah, it was still really nice. Thank you for saving the day, and also my reputation." "Anytime," said Wedge. "Maybe next year we can throw a party together." "That sounds swell," I said. Wedge smiled and gave me a high five, and also a little hug. I waved goodbye and walked home, whistling a Christmas tune along the way. And while I strolled in the crisp, late December air, I realized that maybe this was what Christmas was actually all about. A chance to spend time with folks you enjoy, have a few laughs, listen to some good music, eat a nice meal, exchange a few gifts, voila. Nothing too complicated, nothing too ornate, nothing too extravagant, and nothing too stressful. Nobody had to win or lose, after all. They simply had to show up and be in the moment. Of course, I can still have a big Christmas whenever I feel like it too. Hey, it's not like my personality totally changed in a day. Ta-da! Merry Christmas to all. The end. Thanks for watching.
Construction site on Christmas night. Sherry Dusky Rinker and Ag Ford. Down in the big construction site, there's work to do for Christmas night. The last big project of the year. The team is slamming into gear. So much is riding on the crew, they have a major job to do. A special house is being built. The trucks are racing at full tilt. This important work can't wait. They'll get it done and make it great. Bulldozer's deadline is almost here. He has a lot of ground to clear. Working at full speed all day, he pushes hard to clear the way. For hours he powers this way and that and clears the site in no time flat. He turns away to end his shift, but in his way, a massive gift. With cable ribbon from the yard, it's topped off with a thank you card. An awesome carbon steel blade, custom paint job, custom made. Merry Christmas, Bulldozer. Good night. Excavator has no time to spare. He's rolling, digging everywhere. Scooping, chugging at full blast. He digs up the foundation fast. Clouds roll in, a brisk wind blows. A snowflake falls right on his nose. The clock in town begins to chime. His job is done right and right on time. As excavator rolls away, slowing down to end his day, he stops and can't believe his eyes. Someone's left a big surprise. The card says, "Thanks for all you do." And it's signed simply, "From our crew." Look, a shiny yellow scoop. His old one has a broken tooth. Merry Christmas, excavator. Good night. Cement mixer has concrete to pour. He lays the foundation, walls, and floor. And then he churns another load that will be used to make the road. He twirls, he rolls, he spins, he pours. In record time, he's done his chores. He rolls away to take a bath, but something's sitting in his path. A giant box, his name's on top. He rumbles to a grinding stop. No card, no note, who is it from? Who could have left a brand new drum? His drum is old, beat up and plain, but this one's like a candy cane. Merry Christmas, cement mixer. Good night. An icy wind blows in his face, but dump truck revs to keep the pace. His back is sore, his tires are shot, but dump truck gives it all he's got. And soon there's nothing left to haul. He slows his engine to a crawl. He turns to go, but stops in awe. The biggest box he ever saw. He blows his stack, his engine fires. It's a fresh new set of tires. Midnight black with thick, tough tread. He tucks the old ones in his bed. Merry Christmas, dump truck. Good night. With whipping winds and loads that sway, crane truck's job is tough today. But he keeps working right along, bravely lifting firm and strong. It's getting darker with each pass, but Crane Truck's work is done at last. The job's all finished, one last stop. Crane Truck puts a star on top. But Crane has one last thing to lift. Someone's left a special gift. A Rock'em Sock'em wrecking ball. It's red and green and 10 feet tall. Merry Christmas, Crane Truck, good night. Engines rev and bells ring out. Sirens blare and air horns shout. Down the road and up the drive, a fleet of bright red trucks arrive. Driving proudly, looking fine. Pumpers, ladders, all in line. Cars and rescue trucks join too, bright and shiny rolling through. It's the town's new fire crew. On this nearly Christmas night, they find a new home built just right. And with a joyful roll and spin, the fire trucks move right on in. Turn off ignitions, settle down, and look out at the sleepy town. All grateful for this special day, and helpful friends at work and play, for all that's given and received, and all that's blessed this Christmas Eve. Shh, all the trucks are tucked in tight. Merry Christmas and good night. The end. Thanks for watching.
Little Blue Truck's Christmas, written by Alice Schertle, illustrated by Jill McElmurray. Beep, 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 December's here. Little Blue Truck is full of cheer. Every Christmas, Little Blue has a delivery job to do. 5 trees ready to take a ride. How many trees will fit inside? 1 tree, 2 tree, 3 trees, 4. Just enough room for 1 tree more. 5 green trees make 1 big load. Beep, says Blue. Let's hit the road. Blue has friends both far and near. Who needs a Christmas tree this year? Honk, says the goose. This big one, please. Now there are 4 green Christmas trees. Moo, says the cow. This tall one, please. Now there are 3 green Christmas trees. Oink, says the pig. This fat one, please. Now there are 2 green Christmas trees. Ma, says the goat. This short one, please. Now there is 1 green Christmas tree. 1 tree left in a little blue truck. 1 tree left, what very good luck. Little Blue Truck needs a Christmas tree. Beep, beep, beep. This one's for me. Happy holidays!
How to Catch an Elf by Adam Wallace and Andy Elkerton. It's Christmas Eve. Hip, hip, hooray. Yes, Santa's coming round. He's bringing toys to girls and boys in every house in town. Some kids have tried to catch him, but Santa's fast, you see. So they've set their eyes on a smaller prize, and now they're after me. I'm not my friend upon a shelf who comes each year and sits. No, I've got style and I've got grace. I'm the elf that never quits. Now Santa's ready. Time to go. I'm sure your traps are scary. I'll do my best to dodge them all and leave you feeling merry. In I go to Emma's house to make sure all is clear. A tinsel net? Oh, that's just fun. I won't get caught in here. Jaden's trap cannot be missed. I think it's double-sided. He's got his spot on my naughty list. You bet that's been decided. Another house is filled with treats. These kids are getting smarter. I can't resist the candy canes. My job is getting harder. Santa slowly lowers me into a dangerous room.
If I touch down, he won't just frown. There'll be a bonbon boom. Your Christmas maze is all laid out. My work's no longer cushy. I safely brought you all your gifts, but hey, you zapped my tushy. And now my radar's perking up. This next one's quite a chore. We don't yet know what lies ahead in this family grocery store. We run inside and get caught in an avalanche of food. We've seen all types of traps before, but not to this magnitude. The dinner cannon burps and spits and shoots out ham and gravy, and then it follows with dessert? Please, Santa, will you save me? We tumble down the waterfall above the Eggnog River, but Santa and I are an awesome team. Together, we deliver. And now it's time for us to leave. Our night is nearly done. You tried your best this Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas, everyone.
The end. Thanks for watching. Pig the Elf by Aaron Blabby. Oh, Christmas Eve, the most merry of nights, the carols, the snowflakes, the small twinkly lights. Santa was coming. 'Twas bigger than big, but no one was feeling more festive than Pig. How he loved Christmas. He'd giggle with glee. The presents, for me, 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 me. He'd written his list, and he'd asked for a lot. But Santa takes orders, so why the heck not? The presents, he screamed out again. When will he get here? Oh, when? Tell me when! He'll come when we sleep, said his lovely friend Trevor. But Pig shouted, Sleep? I'll have none whatsoever. Sleep is for fools. Oh yes, sleep is for losers. I won't go to bed with the rest of you snoozers. I'm sitting up late. I'll be here when he comes. I'll declare by these stockings and gingerbread crumbs. So Trevor went dutifully off to his bed, but naughty old Pig stayed up, just like he said. The waiting was endless, but Pig held his ground. Then at 3:33, well, he heard a strange sound. And guess who made that mysterious noise? A portly old gent with a bag full of toys. He piled up some presents marked Trevor and Pig. Then he picked up his milk and he took a big swig. But then, as he turned to go back on his way, a short, cranky dog appeared shouting out, Hey! I asked for more, hollered Pig in dismay, but Santa turned round and then hurried away. Hey! Shouted Pig, sounding very unkind. Then he nipped poor old Santa's big rosy behind. Up through the chimney, out to the sleigh. Pig held on tight. You're not getting away. Don't be a cheapskate. I want all my stuff. The pile you left me is just not enough. But the sleigh took off fast. Gee, those reindeer were speedy. And away fell their guest. Yes, the elf who was greedy. But as Trevor lay dreaming of holiday cheer, a real Christmas miracle happened right here. Yes, Pig must be blessed. He survived that big drop, and he was saved by a tree with an angel on top. The end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Grumpy Monkey. Oh no! Christmas by Susan Lang, illustrated by Max Lang. It was a grisly, drizzly December day, just as it had been all week. Chimpanzee wasn't in the mood to celebrate. Can't it be nice for one stinking day? Jim sighed and set out into the wet in search of breakfast. But when he finally found a banana, it was green. Figures, said Jim as he tossed the banana aside. Are you going to eat this? Asked his neighbor Norman. No, said Jim. It's not ripe. It'll ripen in your stomach, said Norman. You didn't even peel it, Jim said. The peel's where all the vitamins are, said Norman. I don't think that's true, said Water Buffalo from beneath the tree. Who cares if it's true, said Oxpecker. It's almost Christmas, and everyone knows green bananas are much more Christmassy than yellow ones. Because green is a Christmas color. I'm so excited for Christmas. The weather stinks. The bananas stink. What's there to celebrate when everything stinks? Snapped Jim. Nothing to celebrate? Oxpecker couldn't believe it. But it's such a magical time of the year. There are presents and visiting relatives and decorations. Oh, no, not decorations, said Water Buffalo. Of course decorations, chirped Oxpecker as she wrapped some berries around Water Buffalo's horns. Decorations help spread Christmas cheer. See, Jim, don't you feel like celebrating now? No, said Jim, and he stomped away. Jim was so busy stomping, he didn't notice Marabou. Why are you stomping around, Jim? Asked Marabou. You should celebrate. It's such a magical time of year. Celebrate? Me? I don't feel like celebrating, said Jim. Maybe a song will help. Fa la la la. Ugh! Jim held his ears and stomped on. Right into a puddle of mud. Hooray! Jim, you're just in time to enjoy some of our holiday treats, croaked the frogs. Nothing makes you want to celebrate like a little fly pot pie. Am I right? Said Bullfrog. Celebrate? Me? I don't feel like celebrating, said Jim. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy this magical time of year. You should wrap presents and put them under a tree. You should make a card for your mom. Don't forget your dad. You should take a long winter's nap. You should light 7 candles. Or 9. You should quietly reflect. You should do something nice for someone else.
You should eat sugar plums.
But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. Why aren't you celebrating, Jim? Asked the others. It's such a magical time of year. The bananas aren't ripe. I'm soaked and covered in mud. This fly is driving me crazy, and you're all giving me a headache. How can I celebrate when everything stinks? And he stormed off. Jim tried to ignore all the holiday celebrations, but he couldn't ignore the rumbling in his tummy. Maybe Norman's right. Maybe the banana will ripen in my stomach. He peeled a green banana and ate it. Ow, ow, ow! Norman wasn't right. Norman wasn't right about what? Asked Norman. About the bananas, said Jim. Now my stomach hurts, and I still have a headache, and I'm muddy, and wet, and come to think of it, I'm cold too. Not to mention this fly won't leave me alone. How can anyone celebrate when everything stinks? Sounds like you could use some tea, said Norman. Tea? Said Jim. I don't like tea. Have you ever tried it? Asked Norman. No, said Jim. Maybe give it a try, suggested Norman. Jim took a sip of the tea. It warmed him all the way to his tummy. In fact, it started to make his tummy feel better. It's made with mint leaves that grow right here. Pretty nice, huh? Said Norman. I've never noticed the mint leaves, said Jim. They do a pretty good job of blending in, said Norman. Can I get that for you? Said Chameleon. Thanks, said Jim. I guess there are a lot of things I haven't noticed. It can be hard to notice things when you've got a lot of complaints, said Norman. Jim looked around. He noticed how pretty the raindrops looked on the trees, and that the holiday tree made a pretty good umbrella, and that he was surrounded by loved ones. Taking time to notice the good things can make your problems seem smaller, said Norman. Jim agreed, and that was a reason to celebrate. The end. Thanks for watching. How to Catch Santa Claus by Alice Walstead and Andy Elkerton.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house the children have set traps, and not for a mouse. This makes sense to me. Yes, I understand why. I'm a holiday legend with reindeer that fly. As much as I want to stay for a while, I have stops round the world tonight. I'd love to talk to each child there is, but these toys need homes by daylight. You're all so smart and clever, and the traps do look like fun, but I can't get too distracted. There's a lot of work to be done. I love Christmas flowers, they grow at the North Pole, but I don't need to take these, it's time for me to roll. The tree looks so festive and cozy in this nook. The room is all decked out, but an odd place to put a book. Hope the presents bring joy. I've added gifts to each list. Because surprises are important, I call it my gift checklist twist. I bet no one knows about the magic key that I don't show. I can walk from house to house, to come in and then to go. The trap fooled the reindeer, and elf, you don't get to smirk. Other plots sure snagged you. I hope kids don't know this works. I've got to keep moving, but I will pause for a snack. Can't sit in the chair though, there's a toy sack to unpack. Those cookies were good, and no traps did I spy. Time to call the sleigh team, we're almost ready to fly. Oh my, this is impressive. It must have taken hours, but if I'm being honest, I prefer the trap of flowers. There's one thing that's true, these toys go under the tree. I just can't see how to do that, so I'm sending you and not me. How did we get out, you ask? It looked like we were done for. Santa's magic is very real, and I cannot reveal more. I've loved this visit, but I'm done here tonight. I'll be back next year. Time to fly out of sight. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Turkey Claus by Wendy Silvano, illustrated by Lee Harper. Thanksgiving was over, and Turkey was safe. But then he overheard Farmer Jake and his wife, Edna, talking about what to have for Christmas dinner. And guess who was at the top of the list?
I do love a nice turkey dinner,
Said Edna. Oh no, thought Turkey, not again. But Turkey had an idea. The children had mailed their Christmas wishes to Santa Claus. Maybe Turkey could ask Santa for a Christmas wish too. A wish that he would not be eaten for Christmas dinner. But it was too late to mail his wish to Santa. Turkey would have to go see Santa himself. Turkey arrived at Santa's village. "Excuse me," said Turkey, "where can I find Santa?" "No one sees Santa the day before Christmas," said an elf. "He's too busy making his list and checking it twice." "Oh, gobble, gobble," said Turkey. But looking around gave Turkey a new idea. What if he didn't look like a turkey? What if he looked like a Christmas tree? Surely a Christmas tree could get to see Santa. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like a Christmas tree. Almost. "Ho, ho, hold it!" cried the elf. "No turkeys in Santa's village. You have to go back to the farm." "How'd you know it was me?" asked Turkey. "Trees don't have legs," said the elf. "Oh, gobble, gobble," groaned Turkey. Turkey looked around again. "I've got it," he thought. "Surely a reindeer could get to see Santa." His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like a reindeer. Almost. Halt your hooves! Cried an elf. No turkeys allowed in Santa's village today. You'll have to go back to the farm. Ah, how could you tell it was me? Asked Turkey. Reindeer don't have wings, said the elf. Oh, gobble, gobble, moaned Turkey. I've got to see Santa. Turkey looked around for another idea. Candy was being loaded into Santa's sleigh. I've got it, he thought. Surely a candy cane would be allowed inside with Santa. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like a candy cane. Almost. Wait a merry minute, cried an elf. Turkeys are not candy. You have to go back to the farm. How could you tell it was me? Asked Turkey. Candy canes don't have beaks, said the elf. Oh, gobble, gobble, howled Turkey. I just have to get in to see Santa. Turkey looked around and around. He saw Miss Claus bringing a plate of cookies to the elves. Surely Miss Claus could get in to see Santa. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like Miss Claus. Almost. Turkey walked right up to Santa's house. An elf opened the door. "No way," said the elf. "No turkey is getting in here today." "How'd you recognize me?" wailed Turkey. "Miss Claus doesn't have feathers," said the elf. "Oh, gobble, gobble, gobble," Turkey sighed. "I'm almost out of time. I'll never get to ask Santa for my wish." Turkey looked around desperately for one last idea. Then he saw it. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, it was his best yet. Ding dong! An elf brought in the box. "What's this?" said Santa. "A present for me?" Out popped Turkey. "Merry Christmas!" he cried. "Gobble, gobble." "Ho, ho, ho." "Ha, ha, ha," laughed Santa. "What are you doing here, Turkey?" Turkey explained his Christmas wish. Santa smiled. "I think I have just the right disguise for you." And he did. It was Turkey's best Christmas ever. Pizza on Earth. Love, Turkey. The end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Green is for Christmas by Drew Daywalt and Oliver Jeffers. Green is for Christmas. Green is for holly. Ahem, red is for Christmas. Red is for candy canes. Even old ones. Green is for fir trees. Red is for Santa Claus.
Darn right it is.
Listen, you guys, I'm invisible all year long, so you're not taking this one away from me. Hello? Snowflakes, snowmen, marshmallows. White is for Christmas. Silver is for Christmas. I'm kind of a big deal on the Christmas tree. What's Christmas without silver bells? You just tried jingling without me. I'm not sure why I'm here, but yeah, what he said. Brown is for Christmas.
What about cookies and reindeer?
I'm more burnt sienna, but that's cool.
Huh? You can't have Christmas without any of us. Nice hat. Especially green. The end. Merry Christmas and thanks for watching.
Snowmen at Christmas. Carolyn Buhner, pictures by Mark Buhner. One Christmas Eve, I made a snowman, very fat and jolly. I dressed him up in red and green and trimmed his hat with holly. I saw his arms were trembling as if he couldn't wait. It made me start to wonder, how do snowmen celebrate? I think that while I'm snug in bed, dreaming of Christmas treats, the merry snowmen slip away and hurry through the streets. They glide down snowy avenues with lamplights all aglow, the sleeping city blanketed in freshly fallen snow. They pass by toy shop windows framed with twinkling lights, pausing for a peek or two at holiday delights. The jolly snowmen gather from everywhere around for a Christmas party in the center of the town. Waving to each other, they call out cheery greetings, all their friends and family so happy to be meeting. A few merry snowmen start trimming the square. Soon holly and icicles are strung everywhere. And then reaching high for everyone to see, they hang balls of snow on the big Christmas tree. The snow children play freeze tag or red rover, or climb in a stack till they wobble right over. The mothers lay out all kinds of cold treats, ice cream and snow cones, and dainty iced sweets. Then the dancing begins. To the tune of a fiddle, all the snowmen line up and sashay down the middle. Someone says, "Hush! Could that be a jingle?" Then over the hill glides the snowman Kris Kringle. He opens his sack with a jolly ho-ho and pulls out their presents, each made out of snow. Santa sips his cocoa, the reindeer romp and play, and then with a whistle, they're off and on their way. Such fun snowmen have, but there's still one more thing. With hearts full of joy, they hold hands and they sing. While the fiddler plays and sweet silver bells ring, they sing songs about snow and the birth of a king. The children are sleepy, the grown-ups are yawning. The snowmen go home just as Christmas is dawning. They're all back in their places when Christmas Day starts. But these folks made of snow have a glow in their hearts. Their smiles are more tender, their eyes softly shine, as the snowmen dream dreams of their Christmas time. Merry Christmas! How to Catch a Reindeer by Alice Walstead and Andy Elkerton. It's Christmas Eve. That's right, Santa's back. He's here with the whole reindeer team. There are presents and stockings and candy canes and Christmas trees all agleam. You might have sung my name before. The tune starts with Dasher and Dancer. Next in the song are Prancer and Vixen, but who's next? Do you know the answer? Bingo, that's right, I'm Comet herself. I've been with the team from the start. Christmas is my most favorite thing. Each Christmas Eve fills my heart. Now I've already seen the shelf with the elf, and that blue truck loaded with trees. I've even seen a green Santa so mean, tonight I'll explore as I please. I've heard that some kids are setting up traps to catch an elf or maybe Santa Claus. If you think offering some carrots will work, I promise I won't even pause. I'll admit that this trap looks interesting. It has lights and style and flair. The thing is, though, I'm not hungry enough. There's no way I'm going in there. Christmas decorations are awesome and bright. Those candy canes twinkle and glow. Though a maze looks like fun, I think I'll pass. I'll romp and play in the snow. Why would I need night vision goggles? My eyes do not need that support. I think I'll stick with a snowball fight. That last toss made Blitzen snort. When did all those new reindeer get here? I'm surprised, but I must be brave. Is that Santa sitting in a sleigh on the ground? This is weird, and why won't he wave? I'm chatting away, but it seems like they're not listening. It's like they don't know that it's me. Oh wait, I get it. They're just plastic. I'm embarrassed and hope Prancer didn't see. What in the holly jolly is that? Those huge ornaments start moving. They're rolling and rocking and bouncing around. I could run, but I want to start grooving. Whoa ho ho! This is fun and better than a run. Spin left, swing right, I'm dancing on air. And a tree with lights to go rocking around. Vixen, let's dance as a reindeer pair. Hey friends, come on over. It's for Reindeer Graham. Now let's say Merry Christmas and flash a smile. This was a great stop, but a few million to go. Christmas Eve must continue with style. Back to the roof, Santa's back in the sleigh. We shouldn't keep the big guy waiting. In the blink of an eye, we'll take off in the sky. On now, Santa calls, no hesitating. I had the most fun ever, to be clear. I'll see you again, let's do this next year. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
The Christmas Owl. Ellen Kalish and Gideon Stirrer. Illustrated by Ramona Kolitsky. Once in a little town, in a little front yard, lived a little owl, high in the branches of a very big tree. For the curious little owl, not even a year old, the world was filled with wonder. Streams were for splashing, forests were for flying, and friends of all feather were merrily made. One day, when winter had arrived, the town around her began to transform. Houses were decorated, lights were strung, jingles and music filled the icy air. Little Owl watched and listened, and that night, when darkness came, the whole town glittered and glowed. "What is going on here?" she asked her friends.
Christmas,
said Moose. "And what is that?" Little Owl said. "Not sure," said Rabbit. "No idea," said Skunk. "No one knows," said Squirrel. "But it happens every year." The next morning, confused as ever, Little Owl flew home, where she found some people standing around the big tree's trunk. "It's beautiful," said one of them. "It'll be a perfect Christmas tree," said another. "A Christmas tree?" Little Owl wondered. "My home is Christmas?" The workers began attaching wires and ropes to the tree. As Little Owl hid in the shadows, the branches pulled tight around her. She was trapped. Then she heard a roar. The tree shook. Spinning and swaying, it was lowered down onto a truck. Little Owl was dizzy. "Is this Christmas?" "Say goodbye to our tree," someone called as the big truck rumbled away. "Your tree?" wondered Little Owl. How could anyone own a tree? For hours and hours they drove. The cold wind rushed beneath her feathers. Little Owl was hungry, but there was nothing to eat. She was thirsty, but there was nothing to drink. She was lonely, and her friends were far, far away. "Is this Christmas?" Pinned against the tree, she tried to sleep. At last, 3 days later, the truck came to a stop. Again, the tree jostled and lifted. Then, all at once, its branches spread. Worn and weak, Little Owl edged out into the light. "Where am I?" Below her, hundreds of people stomped and scowled, and cars clogged the streets. Above, strange towers scraped the sky. "This is not home." She tried to flap her wings, but she wasn't strong enough. As her eyes were closing, she saw, "There's an owl in here." When Little Owl awoke, she was in a box. It opened and a new face peered inside. "Hello, little one. I'm Ellen. Let's get you inside." Whatever Christmas was, it seemed to have gotten inside the house. The place was warm and cozy, and it seemed, oddly, to be made for birds. "Why are you here?" Little Owl asked. "Broken leg," said Hawk. "Broken wing," said Falcon. But Ellen looks after us until we're ready to fly free again. After all this, Little Owl wondered, could a human really help? Over the next days, Little Owl gulped down water and gobbled thawed mice. She was given an x-ray, and every day Ellen checked her feathers, eyes, and ears. Ellen is helping. Could Christmas be caring? Could Christmas be kind? Ellen held Little Owl in her hand. After all you've been through, she said, it's a miracle you're alive. But was Little Owl ready to fly? Almost, cried her new friends. Ellen smiled. Almost, she said. At last, at dusk on Christmas, they drove to the top of the mountain. Ellen lifted Little Owl from the box and raised her arm. You're free, she said. Welcome home. For the last time, the friends looked at each other. Then Little Owl flopped her wings and flew higher and higher into the sky. But she wasn't going home just yet. When at last she reached the very big tree, which was now a very big Christmas tree, she settled on her favorite branch. Bright and brilliant, the city was not what she remembered. The cars had disappeared. The great towers were merrily lit. The people were smiling and skating. Some were even singing. They held hands and hugged. All, it seemed, were eager to love. Is this Christmas? Yes, Little Owl thought. It must be. For some time, Little Owl sat, basking in the golden glow. When at last the moon peeked above the buildings, she knew it was time to go home. You're back! Her friends cried, gathering round.
And just in time for Christmas,
Squealed Moose.
Whatever that is.
Added Rabbit. Actually, I may have learned something about it, said Little Owl as they nuzzled close. Could you tell us? Of course, said Little Owl, knowing full well that this was Christmas too. The end. Thanks for watching.
Dasher by Matt Taros. Life was not easy for the reindeer family of J.P. Finnegan's traveling circus and menagerie. They spent long days crammed together under the hot sun as an endless stream of curious people jostled to catch a glimpse of them. Even at night, there was little rest. Some nights, to pass the time, Mama would tell stories. It was a magical place, she would say. The air was crisp and cold, and the ground was always covered with a cool blanket of white snow. Your father and I were free to roam under the glow of the North Star. Dasher, the youngest reindeer, loved Mama's stories. Is that the North Star, Mama? She asked. The very same, Mama said. We always knew we were home when it was directly overhead. I wish we could go there, said Dasher. Mama sighed. I do too, she said, but Mr. Finnegan is not kind to the animals who try to escape. Day after day, under the watchful eye of Mr. Finnegan, the reindeer family delighted crowds wherever they went. Dasher liked being with her family, and she loved meeting so many children who were always kind to her. Sometimes they even fed her carrots, which were her very favorite food. But at night, while the others were sleeping, she would lie awake, gazing at the bright star on the horizon, wishing for crisp, cold air and cool blankets of white snow. One night, mighty winds shook the circus tents and rattled the animals' cages. Dasher was wide awake, wishing on the North Star, when she was startled by a loud creak. The gate to their pen had swung open. Dasher could hear rustling from inside Mr. Finnegan's trailer. She glanced up at the North Star. She looked back at her sleeping family. She knew that this might be her only chance. Her heart pounded. She took a deep breath, and she ran as fast as she could. On she went for hours, with the North Star as her guide. But no matter how far she traveled, it was still way off on the horizon. Dasher began to wonder if she would ever make it there. She thought about turning back, but she couldn't remember the way. She didn't know what to do. She looked up at the North Star and made a wish. Just then, Dasher heard something in the distance, a soft jingling coming from the woods. There, in a clearing, Dasher saw a man and a horse.
"I'm sorry, Santa,"
said the horse.
"The sleigh is just so heavy this year."
The man smiled.
Now don't you worry, Silverbell,
He said.
we'll take all the breaks you need.
"But the children,"
Said the horse.
"they'll be heartbroken if we can't deliver all these toys by Christmas morning."
Children, thought Dasher. She stepped forward. Maybe I can help, she said.
Hello there,
Said the man. Dasher walked closer. The man smiled.
have you ever pulled a sleigh?
He asked. Dasher shook her head. I've never even seen a sleigh, she said, but I pull a wagon just about every night.
Well, said the man, how would you like to make a whole bunch of children really happy on Christmas morning?
I would like that very much, said Dasher. Santa thanked Dasher and attached her harness. It was soft against her fur, and its jingling bells made the most beautiful sound she had ever heard. Santa climbed into his sleigh. Dasher pulled with all her might. Then, suddenly, the load felt lighter. Dasher looked down. They were flying! All night, Dasher and Silverbell pulled Santa's sleigh through the air as Santa guided it from rooftop to rooftop, delivering toys to children everywhere. Dasher had never experienced such a thrill, and she ate so many carrots she felt like she would burst. She was having so much fun, she forgot all about the North Star. As the first light of dawn appeared on the horizon, they landed. The air was crisp and cold. The ground was covered with a cool blanket of white snow. Dasher searched for the North Star on the horizon, but couldn't find it anywhere. Santa smiled.
Dasher, he said, look up.
And there it was, directly overhead. Is that the North Star? She asked. Santa's eyes twinkled.
Merry Christmas, he said, and welcome home.
The North Pole was just as wonderful as Mama's stories. Dasher roamed wherever she pleased, and Santa gave her all the carrots she wanted. But something was missing. I love it here, she told Santa, but I miss my family. I wish we could be together. Santa smiled.
That's your best wish yet, Dasher, he said. Let's go find them.
Late that night, Dasher guided Santa's sleigh all the way to J.P. Finnegan's traveling circus and menagerie. Mama, Papa, Dasher whispered. Everyone wake up! Mama lifted her head. Dasher, she said, is it really you? It's me, Mama, said Dasher. She told her family all about Santa and Silverbell and how the North Pole was just as amazing as Mama's stories. But I missed you, she said. You were all I wished for. Dasher led her family to Santa's sleigh, and Santa attached their harnesses. You're not going to believe this part, she said. When Christmas Eve arrived, Silverbell watched as Santa prepped his team. Are you sure you don't want to come? Asked Dasher. I'm sure, said Silverbell. I know the 8 of you will do a fine job. Late that night, as Santa and his new team of reindeer soared around the world, he called them by name for the very first time.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen.
On Christmas morning, after all the toys had been delivered, they flew back to the North Pole, where they still live happily today. There, the air is crisp and cold. The ground is always covered with a cool blanket of white snow. And Dasher has everything she ever wished for. The end. Thanks for watching.
Illustrated by Jennedy Spearin. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Dunder and Blixen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all! As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys was flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprung to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."